With access to healthcare professionals becoming so difficult, lots of smart marketeers in industry, whether it's biotech, pharma, or device, are focusing on content marketing as a way to engage their audience, either for new leads or to provide re-engagement opportunity for sales teams. And it seems that peer-to-peer or peer-led valuable education and informational discussion is what healthcare professionals want, especially in the secondary care setting where treatment decisions can become very, very complicated. Now, peer-to-peer video and talking heads are nothing new. We've been doing them for a long time. But would we say that we're making the best of our content? It's getting the engagement that it deserves and it's giving us the results that we want? Probably not. So coming up for you today are my top tips on how to get the most value out of your video content marketing. Remember what your goals are. Your goal really has to be about attracting people in for re-engagement or the first engagement opportunity for your business. So therefore, think like a publisher. Think about creating original, interesting, epic content that your audience is going to want to engage with. Do not think that you need to communicate your brand messages, your key messages, or your data at this point. Your sole focus should be brilliant content so that you can generate leads for your business. If you're interested in the idea of setting goals and what your goals should be at each stage of a customer journey, I'd highly recommend you check out my marketing flywheel video, which I produced recently. I'll put a link in the description for that. Number 2, don't assume that you know what your audience wants to hear. Make sure you ask them what they want to engage with and you'll get better engagement. So for example, do your research. Pick some friendly customers. It doesn't have to be that many, maybe 5 or 6. Have one-to-one interviews or discussions with them with the goal of understanding what their key challenges are, what kind of content they'd like access to, and what kind of format they'd like it in. If you want to go one step further, and I've seen this done really, really well, then get yourself a content advisory board, a group of people that cover the right areas for your topic. Meet with them regularly, maybe monthly or every 3 months, and talk about topics you want to cover. Ask them what topics you think the audience want to cover, and ask them for their help in creating it. Number 3, make your video content marketing exercise regular. Don't do it as a one-off or at sporadic occasions like at events. Make sure it has a cadence. If you think of something you subscribe to, something that you like to engage with often, it usually has a cadence, like a podcast every month or a newsletter every week. So try and put a publisher's hat on and think like a publisher. So you're trying to create epic content and you're publishing it on a regular basis so that your audience can expect it and feedback on it. In addition, you should be focusing on news content, which is interesting and topical at the time, but also creating evergreen content that can live forever on your site. That way, when people subscribe or they look at your resources, they're going to find useful and interesting things that are current, but they're also going to find value in looking at the archive and finding educational opportunities to share with their colleagues or to help them with their practice. Structure your videos properly. Think about the structure of the video content that you produce. Don't just get some people in a room and get them to start talking. It can be quite boring. There's no rules about how long content should be. People will be willing to watch a video for say 7 or 8 or 9 minutes or even longer as long as the content is valuable. But it is true that if within the first 10 or 20 seconds, people don't get the value they expect or they don't understand what they're going to get in the next 10 minutes or the next 5 minutes, then they are going to switch off. Sometimes it's good to think of it like a news article. It's got to have a great headline to attract people in. You've got to cover the key information in the first 10, 20 seconds, and you've got to describe what they're going to get out of the rest of the article so they can continue watching. You're also going to have to think about chapters. So if you do have a long piece of content where people are going to be only interested in certain things, there's a clear description and a summary of what's in the video and how to get to the point that you want. Number 5 is a simple one. Check your metrics. So make sure you look at the content of your videos, look at how much people are watching, where they drop off, and learn from it. And if you find that people are dropping off early on certain video types, then don't just trust your own analysis. Maybe talk to your advisory board that you might have built up, or talk to some of your customers and say, hey, why isn't this interesting? How should I have restructured the content? Learn from it and change it, and don't be afraid to try new things. Number 6, and this is an important one, call to action. Okay, so I know I talked about goals at the beginning, but if you create a great piece of video content or loads of video content, you get lots of engagement all the time, loads of video views, lots percentage of the video being watched. You might think that's great, but your business does not. It doesn't really represent value to the business to have people simply engaging with video content. You need to have a clear call to action based on the goal. So we talked at the start, if your goal is sign up or engagement with new prospects or customers, there should be a compelling call to action to sign up so you get their contact data so that you can market to them and you can continue to send them content and you don't have to spend money on advertising to them on third-party channels. It might be re-engagement, so your goal might be to get them to a sales call or a rep call or an MSL call or a webinar where your Salesforce or company people will be there to engage. So really think about what the goal is, the next business step, and have a compelling call to action, and judge your success not just on the views of the content, but on whether those people actually engage with those actionable goal call to actions that you created. Own your content. Host your video content on your own website. Do not publish it all to third-party channels. And if you are going to use third-party channels because you don't have a list or you don't have a current audience to engage with, then publish teasers or adverts that drive people to your channel where they can subscribe to your channel. You should be renting third media sites, so buying their audience from them by compelling them to come to your site and sign up to your stuff. Otherwise, you will never own those audiences. You'll never own those relationships, and those engagements don't really offer any genuine value to the business that you can actually measure. Please make sure that your website where you host your content marketing is capable of doing so. There are some really great examples of how to host media if you look at things that you engage with every day, like Spotify, YouTube, Netflix. These are filterable systems that manage media and preferences for people. They are not long menu-driven websites or long scrollable pages where you have to find content. So do think about how you host your content, because if people can't find the stuff they want, then they're not going to bother engaging in future. So I'm going to add a bonus 9th tip, and that is make it fun. Make it interesting. The great thing about content marketing is you have different goals. You've released the pressure of having to communicate key messages in everything that you do. You're really generating value for your audience. You're really generating value for your audience's patients. You're creating really great, meaningful, interesting, unique content, and that is your focus. So please enjoy it. And if you enjoy it and you engage your audience and the talent who's helping you co-create that content, and they enjoy it too, give them a relaxed environment. Set up a studio. Don't have a million medics like telling them to stop talking every time they mention something they shouldn't. Focus on having conversation and creating content, and deal with your regulatory stuff afterwards in the edit. Make it relaxed, make it fun, and give them a say in what they have to say. Allow them to cover topics that maybe they're interested in. I've seen examples where this goes really badly, and I've seen examples where it goes really well. And if you enjoy it, both you and your co-creators enjoy the experience, they're going to share it. They're going to be proactive. They're going to want to come and create more content for you more often. And they're going to be more willing to engage with you on content that you want to provide to your audience. So please enjoy it, and take a break from doing the regular kind of product-centric sales based marketing that a lot of pharma and other industries in the other healthcare industries do prioritize. So those were my top tips and considerations. I hope you enjoyed them. My goal is really to help educate people, help people feel inspired to try something new. Please let me know, and please give me your support by giving me a like or a comment on the video. If you're interested in more content like this, then please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Brandcast Health. Follow me on LinkedIn, Dan Buckland. And if you do want to talk about video marketing, feel free to go to my website or our agency website, brandcasthealth.com. Fill in a contact form. I'm always happy to talk. So if you have ideas, even if it's not to do some work, if you have ideas and you want to bounce them off me, I like to hear about what other people are doing, because it also gives me inspiration. So please don't hesitate to get in touch, whether it's via the website or a message on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to connect. Okay, thank you for the support as always. Have a great day.